Mick Jenkins, another one of those rappers where the talent is up here and the recognition a couple floors down. Super intrigued with this project though, because Mick got crazy versatility, so you don't really know exactly what you're getting until you turn the project on. He typically settles in a more smooth sound with jazzier instrumentation, but he can also get in his trap bag. He got a clip full of flows, and lyrically he can excel whether he's getting conscious, personal, or he can just straight up bar your head off. Let's see what he delivered here.
Hey, speakers knock, but I didn't get it by my lonely lighters up. I gotta burn one for the homies that.
Come on, man. First couple of bars, you gotta warm people up and then you get to the punches. Speakers knock, but I ain't get on my lonely. Like he got your speakers bumping, but then the rapper, Speaker Knocker, who had that song Lonely, had to get a couple of bands by my lonely. That song was a banger when I was in college. But yeah, that's a tough line, straight out the gate.
Hey, down since the only island that we seen was stony water, murky. That shit felt more like the Everglades. High rises built just like Section 8. You trapped up there, purging all this food shit. Know that you can smell it.
Yo, that's hard, dog. The high rises like Section 8, you trapped up there. Like you getting trapped in that luxury lifestyle and then trapping selling drugs in Section 8.
The echinacea, what's the T on me? He too low key, I'm selling lemonade. I stay out the way, this nigga.
The echinacea flour that they be putting in tea, what's the T on me? And then that's a little entendre for selling drugs.
This shit is strange, these niggas facts be opinion based, but not in your face.
Oh, he is floating right now.
In your space, I'm a square reader, a small circle, and we ain't adding a hair neither. We all taught us.
That's so fire. When the flow was crazy, and then he was back to back with that in your face, shifting shapes, rhyme scheme. But then the I'm a square reader, like the little device that take the payments, and then square reader, like I can read who's a square, who's a lane. Why is this nigga rapping like this?
Came out of my shell, niggas not here for the fair weather, ain't under no spell. I know you smell what a nigga cooking, I'm hungry as hell. These niggas gon' bear witness a Michelin Star.
Yo, this is fire. He got this aggressive delivery, and then he's doing this thing, it's super unorthodox, and it's something that Andre 3000 would do a lot, where he has a rhyme scheme going, but it doesn't necessarily fall on the end of the lines. So like if you run them last couple of lines back, he had a couple different rhyme schemes going, and every other bar, the last few words wouldn't rhyme, it would just run on to the next line. I take a lot of skill, because you can mess around, do that, start sounding stupid.
Line cooking, I'm sous chef in these days, proofreading these plates with a fine tooth comb, won't find a line crooked, still casting lines, now I'm hooking big fish out these ways.
Oh, he had the line scheme to a fishing line to the hook. He is rapping.
Remember niggas would do their parts, no complaints. Let our art get contaminated and hearts full of shade, tend not to harp on the hate.
Hey, that's a hard opener. Mick normally be chill and smooth, but niggas said chill don't pay the bills with that opener. I mean, sonically it felt smooth with those keys. I like the vocal harmonization at the end of his verse. And then the bass pattern was simple, but it was heavy. Lyrically, Mick was rapping about his come up and reminiscing on him hustling as if that nigga didn't make it yet. Passion, aggression oozing off every single line. Really tough delivery. And then he had some sick wordplay. I like that Speaker Knockers line. That Skyline, like the trap line, was tough. Dope verse overall. He set the stage. That's a great intro. This is Show and Tell with Freddie Gibbs.
1 degree of separation these days. No hesitation, I just be a bit more patient these days. Niggas think we racing Grand Theft Auto, 5-star chase, ain't shit wasted but time. Throwing tomatoes, can't catch up, nigga, I came from behind. Nigga, I made up my mind.
I'm late, the beat distracting me, but I like how he took that racing scheme to the I came from behind line.
Can't give a fuck by the list, which end we burning it at. Loading up magazines like where the real journalists at. Opinions quickly turned into trash, we flipping the page. Penny sage, money age.
Yo, who is he mad at? That was a scheme aimed at. He said journalists, but like critics. So basically he was saying F your list, like someone's top rappers list. Then basically he's saying you're gonna burn the list, and he's saying we loan up magazines, double entendre for a gun magazine, to the where's the real journalists at? So saying the critics ain't real journalists, and then we flipping the page, we moving on from that.
Whole Foods in the hood just started opening up. Copious smoke coming out. Blunt is the dope rolling up. Sugar coats just a faux pas. Know the truth, won't give a fuck. I'ma have to show these niggas I can't tell this shit. You gon' have to show me, nigga, you gon' have to.
I don't know why this chorus now.
You gon' have every bitch a nigga fuck. Wanna have my baby, I should go celebrate. Nigga fuck that.
There go that flow.
By the bundle, one couple lover. Got a couple Cali bitches like my valley bitches in my blood. Bitches in the jungle, yeah, nigga rapping. I ain't in the rap game. Cause the rap shit'll take you one to put you in and do their best to try to tear me
this
down.
Modulation crazy.
That's where I'm at, baby. Against the island, put it on the map, baby. Fin ball streets of the joint. Big rabbit, I bounce on the bitch. City boys up 100 points.
Big rabbit say he a vice lord. I bounce on the chick. Playing into the money line. That was hard.
Front of my nigga, her package. I know that my package might get fucked up. Yeah. Helping these niggas one of these days. One of these niggas gon' break your trust. Yeah.
We them Hebrew boys that walk straight in that fire. Umpire said safe. Waited,
That's
I'm sliding, he lying.
Come on, man. Y'all better go to Sunday school. Shaq Rap me checking a Bendigo. Come on, man.
I'm burning this sage like Kyrie on game night. You know
Y'all
niggas don't
remember?
do what they say, right? You gon' have to show me, nigga. You gon' have to.
That song's a banger. That beat was nuts. The violins with that real thumping bass was a great contrast. They almost shouldn't have went together, but it sounded dope. And I like how as the verse end for both Big and for Freddie, the drums would go out and then the strings would come to the forefront. And then that teased a big modulation at the end when Mick got into that spoken word type verse. Speaking of, I thought that spoken word verse was fire. The delivery was tough. And I think I like the first verse even more. He brought similar energy on this track as he did on the first track, but then he got real intricate with some of the schemes he got into with that racing scheme at the beginning of the verse and then that journalist paper scheme midway through the verse. Freddie got on the track and slid too. It took him like 4 or 5 bars to really get into it, but once he got in that second flow, man, it was up from there. He gave us like 3 or 4 different flows. He got in that double time back. I like that Big Bunny City Boys line. I mean, that's a tough song. The beat was disrespectful. The rapping was disrespectful. That's tough. This is Sitting Ducks with Benny. You got a weird contrast with these spacey synths and these live sounding drums. I don't know how I feel about them yet. So far, I definitely don't like it better than the first 2 beats.
Hey, ain't no stopping me. I'm above Kent. We apostrophes. Seen all sides and all I see outside.
That's so hard. I'm above can't. I'm apostrophe. Well, technically the T is above the apostrophe. Oh, do I gotta take that line back? No, I'm just playing. That line's hard.
Seen all sides and all I see isosceles. Pyramid schemes and the atrocities they causing. Ain't no
Isosceles triangle to the pyramid. Come on, man.
ain't enough gauze in the holes in your logic. The optics work like an oxtail and everything's gravy. You crazy? Roll up the flower. These niggas keep pushing up daisies.
That's so hard, dog. Out this word like oxtails, working like an ox, then oxtail the food that you throw the gravy on. Come on, man. I need some good oxtails, man. I used to live in a multicultural part of Atlanta, but now I live in a white area where they just got a bunch of bougie Tex-Mex places that have $15 margaritas. I'm hungry now. But anyway, then to the roll-up flour, like rolling out flour to cook, but then flour's a double entendre for actual flour pushing daisies dying. That's fire.
Pour out some cognac. I'm holding the bottleneck lazy, boiling back in my seat. Black on my
Yo, when did this man start penning like this? I'm holding the bottleneck lazy, which leading to the next line, boiling back in my seat. But the way that he said those lines, it sounded like he said lazy boy back in my seat.
margarine message. Don't gotta be butter just as long as it spreads. Ducks, they in the shallow water following bread. The
Market
fuck?
butter
I'm
flip.
across the pond. Jaywalking the Autobahn. I'm in the motherland.
Bro, we not finna make it to the end of the video. Duck following bread, how you can feed the ducks. And then the next line, I'm across the pond, like I'm in Europe. The Autobahn's in what, Germany? Jaywalking past that is crazy. But son, this man is spazzing.
This big clip butch ain't no bargaining with the family. My hoes send each other news like Ari and Young Miami. I was rummaging through trash, now I'm running through this cash.
Who India's in the news too? Hey, this is a tough rhyme scheme too. This is a slanted 7-syllable rhyme scheme.
A snitch don't deserve to be safe. Don't say a word, just make him prove that boy mine like a paternity case. I spent 2 bricks on his rollie, woke
That's
up and went jewelry
crazy.
shopping. In a house claustrophobic, surrounded by Louis boxes. Feeling like a villain behind glasses. Chilling, sipping Villa and Tenoria
Oh,
wine
it's a
glasses.
tough
I went
rhyme
again.
scheme.
The plug, I need options. I'm picky with the dope and my bitches. I ain't going 50-50 with no hope.
Yeah, that's Benny. Me on the other hand, go 50 on my rent, bae. Nah, that song's tough. I don't like that beat as much as I like the first 2 beats, but it was still pretty dope. That spacey synth was interesting. I just don't like it mixed with the drums as much as I like the drum and melody mix on the other 2 songs. What I did like though, Mick is rapping, dog. I mean, it's just bar after bar, one witty wordplay after the other, and then the way that he links it, he'll say a line here with a wordplay, and then that wordplay will link into the next line. It's ridiculous, dog. And then for him to get in these intricate flows, he's not necessarily rapping fast, but the way that he positions each rhyme scheme, it kind of accents the stuttery flow that makes it seem faster than it is. I like Benny's verse, but he got out-rapped on this song. His Mob Boss luxury talk was good, and his rhyme schemes were pretty good too, but you kind of comparing him talking slick with Mick just going Super Saiyan with wordplay. Dope song overall though. This is Smoke Break Dance with Jid. I like this bass guitar.
And our beat going up, fees going up, we pulling up, we throwing up gang signs, trees going up and flames find us a forest fire every.
People overuse it to the point where I don't even really want to say it. I mean, I am a music reviewer, so I gotta point it out, but the way that he's using his voice, the beat is pretty much all bass. His flow and voice is filling out where the melody would be. This is tough.
Feel no Home Depot with us, people with us, that come from the FaceTime. Low key like the baseline got smoke and I keep rolling up.
The way that he's using that keep sound on the beginning of most of the bars, that's tough too.
Yeah, I keep rolling up. Keep getting high beats.
I'm gonna slightly walk back what I said earlier. I said the beat was mostly bass. There's definitely keys here. They just seem more in the background to Mick's voice.
1 for the road, 2 for the show, 3 for the dough, 345. Got a 50 piece from the wing spot.
Come on, man.
I'm coming back with food and some ganja, but it's only me.
This song is vibe.
Got it by the beats, got it by the guns, got it by the streets. Where the money said he got about a week to get it out.
The way that he just got a rhyme scheme is fire. The people with the best flows, they know exactly where to place their rhymes so that the flow sounds smoother. And Jid clearly got one of the best flows in the game. And by one of the best, he might be number one.
Got a stash full of big gas. I can tell you where they run for, but I don't trap, so it won't matter. Everybody do a blunt toast like the white folks when they clink glasses. Told my nigga at the front toe, so I move slow, but I think faster. 12 knocking at the front door.
Man, Jid is on a stupid run right now. He's climbing up the list of best rappers. He's solid in my top 10. I mean, from an Album of the Year contender last year, I don't remember the last time he dropped the mid-verse. This is the first time on the album where I think the feature out-rap Mick Jenkins. This was neck and neck, but man, I think he expounded on what Mick accomplished in his verse. I mean, Mick started that smooth, rhythmic flow. He had those weed metaphors laced. See what I did there? All through each line. But then Jid came, he took that same rhythmic, bouncy flow that Mick had, and then he added his sauce on there with the way that he added those internal rhymes in there, and he got a few more intricate flows. I also think Jid's lines was a little bit more vivid as he described not just weed itself, but why he uses weed, and he used that as a method to describe some of his personal struggles and some scenes around him. Minimal beat that was super smooth. It played well into their different flows, and that bass line was hard. This is 007.
Hey,
that
niggas stepping on their own feet, they not bow-legged. Toy Stories, we've been toe-tagging. Monsters Inc., we got the dough stacking.
Man, we've had a wide range of drums on this album, but man, these boom bap ones might be my favorite. It's a little personal bias in there, but I wasn't expecting this. Not with the way this album been sounding sonically, but it fit right in though.
2 Sports, I'm on prime time. Green grass, if I wanna die, nigga.
That's tough. He said Bo Jackson 2 Sports. Bo Jackson played 2 Sports, and then he said he on prime time, but prime time is Deion Sanders.
Grass, if I wanna die, nigga, I'm having what the goats having. Knox on me, I got both habits.
Green grass don't happen with the goats having, how goats be eating grass. And greatest all time, that's tough.
If we talking wave making, we been wakeboarding, niggas still sleeping. Out of rocket, I'm in X Games mode, y'all niggas sound like squid speaking. Money hungry.
What y'all know about rocket power, dog? Come on, man.
Money hungry, see him squid gaming. Penny pinching, nigga been scheming. Money penny, I got bonds working, told him this ain't no time to die. Niggas from round the way.
Nigga, what? Yo, that's so hard. That's so hard. That is fire. Rappers be saying some stuff. I don't even understand how they mind be working. The money penny, I got bonds working after played into those money hungry and penny pinching lines. Miss Money Penny is James Bond's secretary. So I got bonds working, and then that playing to the name of the song 007. How, dog?
Follow me, I got moose tracks, the right 2 cents is worth 2 rags. I talk that old jazz, I lie day.
The right 2 cents is worth 2 rags. That's a good line. That's an IG caption right there. I like that moose tracks line, and then I like this 2-syllable rhyme scheme he's in right now. This is the second time he got into that spoken word type flow.
She knows so sweet under flames made roulette. Who let the dogs out? Watch niggas get maimed to death. Who left? We finna go all out.
Man, rapping has been incredible. I'm a bars person, and we got a lot of them. The crazy part is, bruh knew he had something. He called this on 007. Didn't say the words 007 once. I know almost for a fact. He had that money penny bar written down. He was like, I'm gonna F him up. I'm gonna call this song 007. Yo, that line was hard. Whole first verse, he was really spitting. I preferred that verse to the second. He had that Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders flip, that goat grass line. And then, of course, that James Bond line I've been standing over. Second verse was pretty cool. He had some good lines in there, too. And he had that 2-syllable rhyme scheme and the spoken word flow. I like this beat. It's another mix of a melody and drums that have no business sounding that good together, but those super watery keys with the boom bap drum sounded good. Tough song. This is 2004.
Hey, I'm still low key as fuck. What you want, nigga? I've been with the same motherfucker since 04, nigga. They know.
Yo, this glitched out cymbal hit is trippy. I like this beat.
Smoke stay in my eyes. Hey, we be playing spades, but I keep a poker face. Vintage frames, I must be blind.
Niggas do be playing spades.
Online, boy, I be offline, though.
Y'all play Joker, Deuce, Deuce, or Ace High?
You gon' ride or die, though. What's a little turbulence? We came up off of potholes. You don't wanna pop smoke. Not too many pop.
That pothole line, all my Atlanta niggas felt that.
You did not know. Hey, I'm still low-key as fuck. What you want, nigga?
I could have did without that one. It would have been dope if he would have actually rapped. That beat was pretty dope. That super ominous sample. I like the trap drums, especially that cymbal here that I was talking about. It was just, we ain't get nothing rap-wise. You know, if you just comparing it to mainstream trap rap, it sounds good, but compared to the super wordplay lace lines with super intricate flows and rhyme schemes that we've been getting from this whole album, like going from 007 to that song, mid. Low-key sounded like it was mid by design too. It don't suck though. This is Roy G. Biv. Those arpeggiated and bells in the background that's a little bit distorted.
Nigga mugs used to call red. Roll Tide Soul had Auburn in his head.
I don't know this person he's describing, but the red crimson soul to the Auburn hair flip, the University of Alabama, University of Auburn flip, that was tough.
You can be in limelights too. All
Green limelight, lime.
Smoking on something chartreuse. I guess a nigga tend to oversaturate with this hue. See blue faces and jaded eyes and olive branches and blatant lies.
Blue face, jaded, chartreuse is a green liqueur, jade. Man, this is tough.
Black lights come out and we see that we all stained. Then pink slips come out and you can't have enough drive. They been pulling yellow cards on the squad all
the
game.
pink slips come out, you don't have enough drive. Like pink slip on a car, drive motivation.
Just trying to kick it. Channel Orange got enough vibes. Can I be frank? Fuck the silver
That's so fire. Channel Orange playing to the color scheme and Channel Orange, the Frank Ocean album, Can I Be Frank?
Can I be frank? Fuck the silver and blonde. Need these ebony flows out the white gaze and beyond. Ain't no more
That's
gray area. That ain't the shade that we on.
The blonde line playing the Frank Ocean flip, and that was a subtle way of saying he and a black woman that he liked the traditional black features too. Man, the execution on that song, all the detail down to the fact that he was scheming one particular part of the color palette at a time. So it was like red and orange on the first verse, and then it was green and blue on that second one. And then the last one, he started talking more about race. A lot of clever lines and schemes in there too, like that Frank Ocean scheme, the Alabama Auburn scheme. Beat was pretty dope too. It wasn't the most explosive beat on here, but it had a smooth drum pattern and that woozy melody. That's another fire track. This is Pasta. Man, you got a lot going on. The piano, the guitar, the violins.
All I see is imposters. Niggas' postures is al dente. Rarely kick it without a sensei. Just brick lay. We cut the cornerstone and scrape the excess mortar with a switchblade. Ain't no pretty glass houses this way.
Man, what? Where did that bass come from? And then his brick scheme is nuts. He said something about bricks and then cut the cornerstone. He's alluding to Dylan right there with brick having a double meaning, cutting the coke, and then cornerstone. I think that was a play on like rocking up coke. And then that play into the ain't no glass houses this way. That's hard.
Y'all got the thrift thing, all this secondhand smoke. I pass. Perpetually bitch man watching secondhand coast. No doubt. Niggas can miss me with the switch.
Bro, he just be getting the zones where it ain't fair. Like, who writes like this? That secondhand line was like a triple entendre. All right, let me count them before I committed that, because secondhand thrifting, secondhand smoke, and then secondhand, he was talking about his physical hand. Bro, this ain't fair.
It would seem that niggas barely take steps. You just don't know. I'm way more low-key. Meet me on the bass clef. I can't stress. You niggas pray about
low-key bass club. The bass club, you use the lower keys on the piano. Why is he wigging?
playwrights. These motherfuckers is on stages. I'm on the 50. I got a Heisman trophy with me. Stiff arm in my dickies. Rubber boots. This shit get slippery. I'm in no Bottega.
This stiff arm line is out of pocket.
I don't want no betas in my circle. Omega Psi I got a couple dogs that's purple. You never know who with me. Shit get
Omega Sci-Fi, that's the purple and gold frat. That's the Q dogs. So that's the dog and purple come in.
all the groping inside. I toss the roach and let the tents rise. I'm in my bitch ride.
I didn't even see it coming, dog. They started with like orchestra build up, and then they just erupts into these horns and this ridiculous, disrespectful bass. And then it's been several songs where Mick just start wigging. He almost yelling with his delivery. It was less lyrical acrobatics as far as the rhyme scheme. He was just barring out. It was one really clever bar after the other. That brick scheme, the Omega Sci-Fi line, the low-key bass club line, straight up bar fest. This dude has been on one pretty much this whole album. This is Farm to Table. I know this sample. What's that Gun used this sample on his song Birkin? It don't sound nothing alike because the strings that Gun uses is like in the background right here, but I like the sample.
Bad bitch on my arm, and she's no bitch.
That's so ignorant.
Smoke straight from the farm, I'm on my gross shit.
I like that. That'll give a hilarious meaning of farm to table.
She in an Oscar de la Renta, I might have to De La Hoya. Call my lawyer.
My nigga, what do you mean by that? You been a boxer?
That style was Condé Nasty, that Pyrex with tight neck. I swallowed my breath. Hers was more of an architectural digest.
I like how he's playing with this S sound right here. This is a dope alliteration.
This shit from farm to table, had to run it up. I never harmed the ankle. And a distribution chain so major I could start a label. We done got that 93 boys.
That's a tough line. He talking about a weed operation, but that's a double entendre for how most labels have some sort of partnership with major distribution. And I would know because Sony Universal be in my inbox every video copywriting something. It even be the underground artists. Like, I didn't even know y'all knew this nigga. Like, bro, y'all want to let me get this Flea Lord video off?
Louis Vuitton liaisons, Pierre Mars out of reach of the DA's arms.
Yes,
and Paris fashion week far preceding you rappers even having seats. It's an Amawako Bawafo, the shit a masterpiece. Some fine arts masterpiece.
Man, Vic is floating right now. This is mostly braggadocio and luxury talk right now, but the way that he's floating in and out of these rhyme schemes, it's a good verse.
We blowing up like Israel did the Philistines. Gaza Strip, mobbing through Bethlehem and I'm rocking Ricks.
The Bible scheme right here.
Got the world buying plane tickets off of my Ghana trips. I been walking it, my nigga, now let me talk my shit.
Man, I'm rocking with that beat. That was one of the more interesting melodies in my opinion. It was super laid back, but there was just a lot of instruments to it. The strings stood out to me, but you also had these keys. And then I think it was a completely different set of keys that was arpeggiating. I think that was multiple different samples there, but regardless, it sounded dope. I thought Mick had a good verse. The rhyme structure and flow was there, but it definitely wasn't one of his best verses. It just didn't have the same level of wordplay and witty lines that most of his other songs have had. Vic had a sick verse. I think he had the better verse on that song. It's crazy because his flow was so effortless, but the rhyme schemes were super intricate. I mean, he'd have a rhyme scheme here with a certain internal, and then he'd take the internal rhyme scheme to the next bar and change the end rhyme, and then vice versa. I nigga put on a rapping clinic. And then he sounded good getting in that luxury world traveling bag. That was a dope song. This is Guapanese. Those descending keys get this beat such a woozy feel.
Funny, God forbid they chalk him out and find out it's no money. Damn. It's a stack of ones just like him and they hide behind the 20. Come outside, ain't nobody.
Hey, niggas do be doing that too. Niggas ain't slick.
Manufactured beef, you can't get this from no butcher shop. All my cash cows grass fed, you can smell it when I come through.
That's fine. All my cash cows grass fed. He basically saying he smoke them out. That's why he said that you can smell it line.
Pull up in some old school shit, it make the hookers stop.
That's that pimp-ish.
Told it's crazy to see. Motherfuckers sound crazy to me, but I guess we letting money talk.
Hey, he turned out with a gold. I thought at first that he was starting out a little bit slow, but the way that he took that money talks motif and fleshed it out over the concept of the song, basically comparing other people's money to his money, that fake money to his real money, wasn't the most lyrical song on the album, but I thought that his delivery gave the needed space for that beat to shine. He brought the punching back for this song too. That's a tough one. Let's close this thing out with Mop.
Since a shorty mama was needing a dough, I've been breaking bread, grew up in the church, did the stained glass fam. I've been breaking bad in the breeze on some windbreaker shit.
Yo, the stained glass line talking about stained glass windows in the church, but I've been breaking bad, so glass as in meth, because Breaking Bad he was selling meth. And then of course he got Breaking Bad, which is going from good to bad, so he's comparing the drug dealing to being in the church. That's nuts.
These trees like I got a hidden dragon, the balance is evident. Avatar never out of my element. If I can, I'm Star Trekking it too. I mean, y'all can't glow.
Avatar out of my element. I ain't watched Avatar, but I know they do stuff with the earth and wind and fire, all that stuff, the elements.
Y'all can't glow with my hue go. A clock light years with the hue blow. A nigga too far ahead.
Clock hue blow.
Too slow coming off of the line.
And then that light year play into the Star Trek line.
Too slow coming off of the line. They talk drag, but it's a marathon. I thought he told you.
Talk drag, but it's a marathon. That play back into the drag line where we was talking about taking a drag from a blunt, but then that's on time for drag racing, which is a short race as compared to a marathon.
I just keep it clean as I'm supposed. Fabric softener. These niggas is hoes fresh out the machine. The way I seen niggas fold, I do my paper the same.
Come on, dog. dog, to keep it clean to the fabric softener line, out the machine, washing machine, the way I seen niggas fold, how you fold the clothes out the what? Well, I don't be folding clothes straight out of the washing machine. It stay on my bed a little bit, then it stay in the hamper a little bit. And then even then, I might just wear all the clothes before I get a chance to fold. But I understand what the point he was trying to make.
Who knows? The chemical shit got me exposed to fertilizer. We was just trying to grow. No pesticides. You gotta weed out your bros. Uncircumcised. Got extra skin in the game. A million more like me in the fold. That's how I'm coming.
Oh my goodness. Extra skin in the game to the me in the fold line. I ain't explaining that line because I ain't finna accidentally say something out of pocket, but that's a tough line.
A cash cow with big calves. That's how we run it. Wherever we grazed. If I spin.
Cash cow, big cow, way we running it. Cows, double entendre for a baby cow. And then the muscle that you use to run. And then he said graze in the next line, like how cows be grazing.
Yeah. I need a mop. I hit the water with some Ajax.
Nah, nigga emptied the clip. Way too many bars on that track. I mean, the pen and the wordplay has been on 10 this whole project. I mean, it was back to back. The Breaking Bad line, the Hugo Watch scheme, the Avatar Star Trek scheme. Thought he's just been on another level. I think the beat was good. I like the vibe of it. It wasn't the craziest beat on here, but when Mick rapping like that, you really just need a canvas pen and paint on. Overall, though, we got one. Man, I think this is the type of project to push Mick in that next echelon of rappers. Particularly with his last two projects, the talent is there. And I love what he can deliver sonically, but it's like he put everything together here. I mean, but the beat selection was dope. You get a cohesive sound with him leaning heavily into live instruments and also creating a woozy aesthetic. But the diversity you get from the drums, and then he adds that other element of musicality with all the different flows that he can get into. But this one just an album with good sounding melodies. The pen was ridiculous, like OD. You got a couple songs in there where the pen was 7 out of 10-ish instead of 9 or 10 out of 10-ish. But for the most part, it was just one really clever wordplay after the other. Then I add how sharp he was from a rhyme scheme perspective. This album was it, dog. 2004 was the biggest miss, but even that song went trash. And then you got a couple of alright verses, like his verse on Farm to Table. But then you get into every other song on here, and then it's complete bar fest. The features came with it. You know the features are insane when a good Benny verse is the lightest feature. Like that Benny verse was nice, but Freddie Gibbs, ridiculous. Jid, one of the best rappers in the world. I mean, honestly, you can say that about all three, Freddie, Benny, and Jid, but Jid had the best feature on here, and Vic Mensa came with it. Look, man, you can complain about 2023 being a down year, but the projects that have been on top have been excellent. It's a top 5 project of the year. This thing is sick.